Hello, Capricorn. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to your mid-month check-in for the month of March. I'd like to begin by just thanking you for being patient. There were some health challenges that I had at the beginning of the month. I had to prioritize just taking care of myself, seeing the doctor. I'm feeling fine now, but you have to lead by example, which is what I did. So thank you for that. I always like to begin, by the way, with a little bit of channeled messages coming through from Spirit. And as I was channeling for your sign, I kept watching a flower open up, kind of like a lotus blossom. And it was the unfurling that was the thing that kind of caught my mind and my attention. And when you watch a flower sort of open up, there is that impatience. It's like, when is this going to bloom? For all my gardeners out there. And then you just turn around one day and it's done. I had the privilege once. I used to grow big amaryllises in one of the apartments that I lived in. And I was just sitting there. I think it was, right after I'd gotten Apollo, so almost 9 years ago or so. But anyway, I was just sitting there hanging out with the dog, and I heard a sound. I could actually hear the flower kind of like pop itself open. And that's the only time that I've ever actually seen a flower open in my presence like that, and it was kind of magical. But usually it happens in the morning or the evening, or you're not paying attention. And so when you least expect it and when you release the need to see it, something happens. So this could be a moment of internal discovery when you're trying to figure something out, like this aha moment. It could just be a synchronicity that you're right on the heels of, or right on the tip of creating. And also, it's just saying that sometimes we're the last person to see the growth that is happening. Someone else could come in and say, oh my gosh, look at how much you've changed or moved or grown. Be patient with yourself. Don't fixate on that end process so much as all of the unfurling. So this is a month of opening up, being patient, letting things develop. So if we take it to a process that I think everybody else can maybe picture even clearer, for anybody that's developed film, it has to go in certain chemicals, sit for a certain amount of time, and you can't rush the development process or it won't take. Same thing applies here. So you're going through a process of change, development, and eventually this sort of opening up. And if you just trust the process, everything is exactly aligned in the way that it needs to be. That's probably the title for yours, is Trust the Process. So we're going to check in on Apollo, and then I'm going to pull out a full Celtic Cross so that we can see where the opportunities and the potential blocks are, so that you know how to show up and how to thrive. Let's begin. Apollo is right behind us, chilling out a little bit. Hopefully he brings you a sense of zen and peace. And with that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards. Please take a moment, close your eyes. Imagine that the sun is shining down directly overhead, creating this beautiful halo of light around your body. Within this halo, you can welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. Very interesting card here. So it says, welcome presence. And what's interesting about this is kind of reminds me that the seventh chakra is like a lotus blossom, which is kind of what I was connecting to. And it feels like, as we look at this illustration, that's kind of what we're seeing here is the unfurling. And there's more than one thing. different versions of where you could be, different versions of you, different ideas that are starting to take shape, to bud open, and to kind of like reveal themselves. So welcome in these different thoughts without immediately dismissing them, because this card was reversed. When something new comes to you, the temptation can be to just stick to the tried and true, the expected path, what's normal. This card is inviting you to do something different, to welcome in the presence of something new, and to understand that it takes time for each of those ideas to blossom. Beautiful energy, nicely tapped in and connected to the catalyst. And so I'm just re-emphasizing that it takes time for things, ideas especially, to grow. Let's look at your center card. Eight of Wands is one of the best cards when it comes to business or work or a project that's in front of you. Yes, it's a reverse card, but it's still positive. And when the card is reversed like it is now, I would say it's important to slow down long enough to see, kind of like to get a lay of the land, like how far you've come, what you're doing, and make sure that there are no missed opportunities. Sometimes we can also feel like we're lost in the shuffle. The way that this card is illustrated, if I pull it up right, is that you can tell that there are people that are sending those wands into motion. Typically, you just see them in motion. I have maybe 3 or 4 decks that will show people gathered around a fire or gathered in a circle together for this as well. So if you need support, it may only be a phone call, a text, or an email away. Don't be afraid to ask, okay? Once you set things into motion, momentum takes over, and the Eight of Wands is in the reverse position, sometimes just procrastination, or again, comparing your own sort of progress to everyone else. Don't worry. Trust the process and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. We are in a basically a magnanimous or supportive universe. Sometimes we create this narrative that, the world is out to get you. No, the world is the final card in the major arcana, and it's about expansion. So imagine that you are supported, that there is opportunity awaiting you, and all you have to do is get out of your own way. That's kind of what I'm getting so far. And we have a beautiful card connecting actually everything that we see here in the center. So the star is already a guarantee that things can only go up from here. We have a delay, followed by progress, followed by something manifesting quicker than you think. So why don't you just trust now, because we're at the mid-month checkpoint, that it's going to be all right. The star is about leaning into the things that make you unique, different, powerful, strong, not changing to fit the mold of what's expected. It's a card of spirituality, creativity, and it's conspicuous. You're supposed to stand out because when you think of people in history, whether it's a famous person that you change the world for the better, or it's an artist, it's the ones that don't quite fit in that stick in your mind because they did something unique. This is your moment to be unique. I like that it's almost like a kite. She's allowing her spirit to soar, and someone in your life might have told you to keep your voice down, to dress more conventional, to cut your hair, whatever it was, to conform. And this card is saying, nah, do what you need to do to shine and be different, okay? So whether it was parent, teacher, friend, or society, this card today is saying, be as bold as you would like to be. As we look at the deep past, you've been doing the work. The Nine of Pentacles is a slow, a steady, and a measured card. In this position, like it was reversed, there could be a desire to rush it to the finish line, but just like the flowers, just like the photographs, same thing goes with fruit. If you pick it before it's ripe, it's bitter. So give things a chance to germinate, to be complete. Don't rush something before you feel comfortable with it. This is for my creative folks out there. Make sure that whatever you're working on feels right. This is a fiercely independent card, and when it's reversed, sometimes there is a desire for help, but a hesitation because you think to yourself, it would be better if I could just do it all on my own, or I need to prove that I can do it. The fact that we just got this card shows me that you already can, but you may not need to. You could get to the finish line just a little quicker by accepting help, asking for help, or just pacing yourself in a way that is more manageable. I'm going to pull the traditional card here because another detail, which I love, which is absent from that, is our trusty little snail in the corner. So slow, steady, calculated, no rush. And even like a snail shell, it grows very slowly. Sustained growth is something that is manageable over time, because you have time to adjust to it. Same thing like if you're trying to get fit, you want to typically lose weight, gain muscle, but in a very slow and calculated way so that the body doesn't freak out. And so if you've been doing things and that slow growth is happening, lean into it. It's going to be all right. Also, this is showing me that whatever your focal point has been, there is a payoff. You are actually overdue. Another way to read the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is you're overdue for that moment of being able to cash in on the goodwill, the hard work, and the great ideas. Okay, now recent past, and then everything kind of shifts to the upright after this. So we have a few reversals, and then we see the energy changing. Impatience, once more, Hanged Man in the reverse position. If you can just hang out for a minute longer, look at that beautiful illumination around her crown. Things will start to take shape and take form. And this is very true to the original sort of mythology of the Hanged Man, which is Odin hanging from the Tree of Knowledge to understand the runes. Those are the runes around her. If we just rinse, repeat, and go into a cycle again, whether it's in a relationship, in a job, something that you've been doing in your health, if you're not slowing down long enough to analyze and interpret, and then take a learning from that and a lesson from that and apply it and do something different, you're kind of destined to repeat. So the Hanged Man is saying, pause, stop even, pivot, try something different. And do the thing that really lights up your imagination, your passion, makes you feel like, that could be cool. Yes, it could. Okay, final reversal, then it's all upright. We have the Five of Pentacles, in the crowning position. What I love about this illustration, if we turn it upright, we see a key, the door, and this person that just is lacking the confidence or the wherewithal to take the key and go for it. An opportunity has aligned to you. There might be, like, figuratively speaking, someone knocking at the door. All you have to do is answer. There may be something where you want to reach out for it and you have the key to be successful, but there's fear, which is always a part of this, that's holding you back. It's usually fear and lack of confidence. So suffice it to say, this is reminding you that you've always had the power. Nobody is going to save or represent or help you as much as you can help yourself. And so why not give it a shot? I believe in you. The cards believe in you. Spirit is obviously believing in you because it's bringing these messages through. So this is your moment to shine if you're ready. The reversal of this is also about discernment and basically saying, I'm not going to do that and not get the support that I need. I'm not going to take less. I'm not going to settle for less anymore, because this is a card also of conditioning. So oftentimes we are made to feel or believe that we're not enough, and it can be anything enough, experienced enough, pretty enough, talented enough, whatever. And it's an illusion. It's one person's opinion. So we're going to release that and create a new chapter, create a new dialogue in our head, in our heart, and go for it, okay? Negotiate when it comes to new opportunities as well in your life, because you definitely deserve more. And because we have the star at the center, this is your moment to shine. As we take a look here at the near future, we have the Three of Wands. And this is a super active Three of Wands, which I'm a fan of. Typically, the person is up on the sort of like hill looking down, watching the ships come in. And in this one, the person is actually like the ship. So they're embodying the movement. They're the ones that are creating it, moving it along. Very entrepreneurial vibe with this, but also a very empowered vibe. Pretty much the antithesis of the Five of Pentacles, which is a feeling of, I'm not enough, I can't do this. And maybe the pep talk helped, maybe you're just connecting with opportunities, but the Three of Wands is showing that it's now. It's not maybe next week, next year, next month, etc. Three of Wands is showing that whatever you're looking for, there's an opening, there's an opportunity awaiting. It is a matter basically of looking in different directions. So with that old version of the card where the person's up on the cliff or the hill looking down, they're expecting things to come to them and they're only looking in one direction. So what you always want to do is make sure that you're looking at all the different ways and shapes and forms and times that a person, place, or thing can manifest, and that like multiplies the abundance of opportunity that could come through. And the early bird gets the worm. This feels like it's a sunrise shot. So one of the things that you could use to your benefit this month is regulating your sleep schedule a little bit, maybe getting up earlier. Back when I used to have a traditional 9 to 5 and I was writing my first book, I was spending time at home or at a cafe before I got to work to do the writing, because I wanted my mind to be fresh. I wanted to feel like I started the day off with something like magical and personal to me, and then I would go earn a living. And so those early hours in the morning, even if I just carved out like half an hour, 45 minutes, I could get a lot done. So perhaps you could do that for yourself. This is true for those of you that have families and maybe there's a lot of responsibilities. Give yourself like 15 minutes to create some magic, to sit down at your computer or to take a walk or to make a phone call. And that's your time. And in that time, something amazing can happen. So try it for the rest of this month. We're at the halfway point. So just give yourself like 15 minutes is pretty substantial. Put it at the beginning or put it at the end when you have fewer distractions. And if it's, while you're taking a shower or a bath or a walk or something, create that space and then use it. And then keep me posted. 3 of Wands is also connected to travel. So if there's something that needs to happen and it's a face-to-face meeting, schedule it, do it. You can make it work. Now we have 2 different swords cards that could create a little bit of friction. One of them here is just around accountability. Because it's showing up in the position of self, it's more like the internal voice that sometimes talks us out of doing something. In this case, the 7 of Swords is lacking accountability. So saying you're going to do something, but maybe not following through. It can also be convincing you that no one's going to notice if you take a shortcut or do something that isn't right. And just perfectly timed in the cosmos, like we hear with the sirens, pretty loud sirens too. It's sort of like a wake-up call that the universe is saying, where it's like, you know what? It's eventually going to catch up with you. So stay accountable. Don't make a promise unless you're going to keep it. And don't take a shortcut or hit the snooze button. I think as long as you do this, you'll be fine. If there's someone in your midst that is either tempting you to do these things, or if there's an environment where this is more acceptable, separate yourself from that, because you don't really have the time right now for that kind of a distraction, and you owe it to yourself. You owe it to others to be the best version of yourself, okay? As we take a look here in the environment, we have the Page of Cups. This is good. The Page of Cups represents, for many of you, some great news, a new connection. I love the little heart and hands there. Also, I love that we see a flying pig in the corner, because it reminds you to keep reaching for the impossible dream. Not because it's literally impossible, but because sometimes we limit ourselves and we shouldn't. And look at how she's reaching up to spirit, making the wish, thinking, I don't know if it's going to come true, but I really hope it can. And then look what's happening there, that the pigs are flying. So something that once felt or seemed impossible, now maybe isn't. And you want to avoid the inner saboteur, which comes through in the 5 of Pentacles, thinking I'm not good enough, or in this one, which is I'm going to freak out and not follow through on something. Don't flake. Stay accountable. You can do this. You do deserve this. And for many of you, there could be good news incoming, a new friend or an ally or a relationship or a connection coming through. And also for some of you, you're just putting yourself out there, getting over those thoughts of inadequacy or those thoughts that tell you that, I said yes to that event, but I'm not going to go. Go to the event. You might meet someone. You never know when you'll meet someone. The only thing that we want to do with this is stay grounded. So it's good to have the big dreams. It's good to go after things, but also remember, like I said, don't lose track of the goals in front of you. Keep the commitments and open yourself up for good surprises this month overall. All right, as we look at hope spheres and opportunities, we have 9 of Swords coming through. 9 of Swords is a call from spirit to take better care of yourself, particularly when it comes to stress management. And you can see the pillow here because the and just the faint frame of the bed there. This often shows where your stress from work or family, or maybe even like where you're living, the neighbors or something, it filters into times when you should be able to just rest, like sleep. So make sure that you're getting both the quality and quantity of sleep that's necessary. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, feeling stress, that you find ways to have a creative outlet, also have a constructively critical outlet like a doctor or a therapist, and don't let that take you off an otherwise amazing path. Okay? So yes, there's a little bit of stress, but that also comes with success, with opportunity, with love. Sometimes we feel a little stress when we're growing, so don't let that kind of like get into your headspace too much. In the final position here in the outcome, we have the Hierophant. I love how unconventional this take is on the Hierophant. Normally we have like an old papal figure with 2 disciples, 2 keys. In this one, we just have a young, almost like 20-something version of the Hierophant, and the key is within. I'm looking for a key. There's no key on this one. You already have it. We saw it in the 5 of Pentacles. So I will say with the traditional illustration, it shows that there's more than one way to do it because there's usually 2 keys. So if you play your cards right, no pun intended, I feel like you'll have a couple of different divergent paths that you can take a leap of faith on. So one may require just a little bit more of a corporate or a sort of regimented path, and one is the path of entrepreneurial energy that kind of comes through with the star. So choose what's best for you. There's no right or wrong with this. Getting organized is something that will help. Organize your schedule, organize your budget, know what you have, know what you need. And by doing that, when you do have to present something or ask for something, people will see that you've done your homework, that it's really solid. And that is going to help you accomplish your goals and dreams, okay? Don't be surprised if there is someone that needs to give you a rubber stamp approval. Don't be surprised if there are certain predetermined deadlines or waiting periods. Yes, you can do this, but it takes 3 to 4 weeks and then another 3 or 4 here. And so this is where we're not going to freak out. We're just going to set it into motion and maybe focus a little bit on something else while those predetermined dates are met. For any of you that have like applied for school or a visa or any sort of application, there are things out of your control once you've done that. And you just have to keep being patient, keep following through, and eventually it all comes together. All right, now we're going to take a look at the expanded forecast. In the expanded forecast, we'll briefly dip into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. We have Kuan Yin coming through enlightened action, and it says, choose compassion, move forward with grace. So, wow. I'm just noticing. So I mentioned the lotus. We're seeing multiple indications of flowers. So right there, I said it looked like a lotus. Right here, we literally have the lotus. And this is so important. So because we're looking at health, which it's also about the attitude that you have about yourself, your emotions too. Be compassionate with yourself. If you've done something that didn't work out the way that you wanted, if you did something wrong, learn from it. Lean into fixing it and making amends, and then forgive yourself. Just commit to yourself not to make it and not to let that happen again. And then it says, move forward with grace. Also, if someone else makes a mistake in your life, you can give them one chance to kind of like sort it out. And that is kind of what we see here with this. You can say, you know what? I've made mistakes too, but I've chosen a different path. This is your last and final warning. So you can lean into an example and then be compassionate with someone else. Looking at this from a health perspective, let's see what's going on here. 5 of Pentacles oftentimes has to do with your foot, as does this, because literally usually it's being hung from the foot. So pay attention to your foot, your ankle, and the lower parts of your leg. If there's any pre-existing arthritis or injuries or anything that just isn't feeling right, like even the circulation, obviously go to a podiatrist or an orthopedic specialist and get that looked at. Just gentle movement can also be good, but you should work with your doctor before making any decisions on your health in that respect. Slow down a little bit this month because the Hanged Man, with all 3 of these, we see momentum and manifestation. But if you don't slow down, you might miss something along the way. And we really want you to land and make a splash per this star card. If there's any challenges going on in your life, this and this show me that you're going to be able to get through it. I think stress is going to be the number one deterrent to progress. And for some of you, there could be insomnia or just inability to kind of like decompress. So that's one thing. I mentioned some joint pain or fibromyalgia. And then I would say the other thing here is just being honest with yourself. So if you're going to set into motion healthier habits, this card is saying, like, let's say you're going to stop smoking or stop drinking or eat healthier. It begins today, not tomorrow. And so as long as you keep thinking one more this, one more that, or I can get away with this, this is blocking you. So become accountable and organized the minute you're done with this reading. So finish up whatever the vice might be right now, but it starts now. Now and next. That's the power of that, and that's why that Seven of Swords wake-up call came through. Let's move on to wealth, and I love this. You received the clover, a 4-leaf clover to be specific. And because wealth comprises your resources, your life purpose, and your career, the message here is profound, simple, but sometimes it's like, well, of course. You make your own luck. Luck isn't something that you either have or don't have. It is a state of mind. It is a habit that you put into place. It is a perspective. When you think, I'm lucky and this is going to work out, first of all, you're presenting and projecting an energy that is attractive because other people will pick up on that and think, oh, this person has something. I don't know what it is, but I want to connect with it. When you think in the morning, I bet you I can make this work out. There might be an opportunity here. Then doors open rather than shut. And so by thinking to yourself, I am lucky, I want you to repeat this mantra this month until the luck comes in, until it's settled, until you actually believe it in your heart. Think to yourself, at the very least, I'm changing my luck. Luck is coming my way. I am lucky. And then just take it a step further. I am luck. Luck, it's not like you just have the quality of it, but it's actually intrinsic to you. This will shift around your ability to spin things into motion like the Wheel of Fortune, and then good things start to come your way. All right, the way that I'm approaching it in the mid-month checkpoint is slightly abbreviated. We're going to look at messages that will help everyone. It doesn't matter what stage or phase of life or employment or unemployment or retirement that you're in, or if you're a student. These are messages that will just help you with your resource management, your time, your energy, your money, and your ability to succeed. No small task there. So as I mentioned, with the unfurling, it's one step at a time. But the other thing, when we're looking at all of these indications here of like plants, because there's a lot of things growing, you have to feed it. You have to care for it. You have to nurture it like we're seeing here. And then eventually you get to reap the rewards. So don't take the shortcuts now. Keep putting in the hard work. All right. The main things that we want to focus on. Your time is valuable. You are valuable. And your thoughts are valuable. Don't sell yourself short. Doesn't matter what phase of life you're in, the Five of Pentacles in reverse gives to the point of depletion, and there's no great value in that. It's going to not allow you to go as far or as long or as high as you want to go. This is your moment to shine, and the lack of confidence or the sort of like the inner saboteur energy could impede that. So try to just suspend these energies and just reach higher and set up a good schedule and momentum for yourself and for others. When it comes to money and contracts, these two cards work against you. So you may be asked to sell yourself short. You may involuntarily not negotiate enough. Or there could also be something where if there's a non-disclosure or something that shouldn't be talked about, you really need to be mindful of privacy, contracts, and agreements. You don't want to make a misstep there. No gossip this month, by the way. Don't gossip. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you're not supposed to talk about something, don't. Even if it's your best friend, your partner, your parent, they could slip. And then you don't want to create havoc between you and between them. We're not even looking at relationships, but that could happen. The month probably has gotten off already to a slow start. There still may be some delays and hoops, but the ultimate energy of this shows me organization and fulfillment. Like things will come through. Manage your stress, stay accountable, partner up with someone that you do trust here in the Page of Cups, and share your ideas. Share your passion. Your passion is your magnet this month. And with that, you become unstoppable. There is more than one way to accomplish what you want. We see multiple flowers that want to open. If one doesn't work, keep trying. Ultimately, you will shine because of the Star card here. Because it's a conspicuous card, people are paying more attention to you. When you're doing well, that could mean more applause. When you make a mistake, that could mean someone comes through and points a finger. Remember to just take a deep breath and know that that comes with the territory, and keep moving, keep producing, keep doing the right thing. And there's always going to be one person that has an opinion, but if what you're doing is good, you have nothing to fear. If you make a mistake, own up to it. And that's basically the crux of it. But can you succeed and grow this month? Absolutely. If you're in a job, you could level up. If you're looking for work, you could be seen. If you're retired, you have a chance to connect with others. If you're a student, everything's looking good. The challenge with all of these, though, is someone around you or your own inner voice or a temptation coming through that takes you off that path, not negotiating high enough, not reaching high enough, and not believing in yourself. Please believe in yourself, okay? Let's move on to love and relationships. In love and relationships, we have the Prophet. The Prophet is fantastic because she basically comprises two cards in tarot. First of all, High Priestess energy without a shadow of a doubt, but she's also a little bit of the Magician too. And I love that there is this sort of snake energy here because it represents the ability to change, to shed your skin, and not to rinse and repeat, which we've talked about before. Now, Prophet in the reverse position, like the High Priestess in reverse, she may not trust her instincts. And because we're looking at love, you do want to trust your instincts. If you are in a relationship or dating someone or whatever, and there's either a red or a green light that's popping in your head, you really want to look into that. This is one area where I will break it down because we only have 3 to look at. So let's take a look. If you're partnered, there's a couple of things going on. First of all, one of you may be in a really sort of like pronounced uptick, and the other one may have a little bit of a plateau, but it's temporary. Be there for each other. Remember that like energy attracts like energy. So if one of you is succeeding, you're both succeeding. And eventually there's a way of recalibrating. So you'll both have your moment in the sun. It really feels like this is your month to shine. So be gracious with your partner and with the people around you, but don't dim your light for anybody, okay? Here are the things coming through in partnerships. Things from the past, and it may have nothing to do with the relationship. Maybe your ex, maybe something that happened when you were a kid, or maybe a recent experience that kind of took a hit on your self-confidence. You'll get through this, but it would be very helpful to talk to someone. It doesn't have to be your partner, but you could talk about the trigger to them. What I like about the 2 outcome cards is they're positive. So working through insecurities, staying accountable, taking accountability for things you did wrong, making sure your partner does the same. But you guys can get past this. It just feels like things may have slowed down a little bit, and there's a big focus on like work and activities. So try to make some time for each other, okay? If you're single and looking, can you find love? Yes, you absolutely can. An Aquarius may be coming into your life front and center, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And the only thing that I'm picking up on here is there could be an age difference or a very sort of like traditional person that may challenge some of your desire to be flexible because this Hierophant doesn't fit the mold. So, you might be asked to step outside of your comfort zone, or they might have to as well. Slow down and don't go head over heels for someone. Take your time this month because it could get serious fast, but you have a couple of options coming through. One thing with the Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, we have the 7 of Swords. They may not be fully showing all sides of themselves right now. There could be another partner or a child or someone in the picture, and they're waiting to kind of like share the full thing with you. So that's why you want to take your time. I feel a lot better about the Aquarius. Feels like you know what you're dealing with there. It's just a matter of like timing. One of you wants to move faster than the other. All right, if you're single and happy, good for you. There's so much you can do this month. Like I said, building. That's actually what a Hierophant can do, is build things and get organized. manifest, fixing things in your health or your finances. I mean, everybody can do this, but particularly if you're single and happy, and pruning out these old habits that don't serve you anymore so that you can fully reach the star potential that we see there. Moving on to destiny, kind of aligned to what I was just talking about, the path of shadows. This would be two things. First of all, in tarot, I would connect this with the devil. A temptation, something that you probably don't need or want to go back and repeat. So just make a commitment to yourself that like enough is enough when it comes to, in particular, like the Seven of Swords energy. This can also just be something that hasn't been clearly illuminated because maybe you haven't given enough thought, or you need a little bit more time. You need to lean into your hermit phase or your star phase. Shine a light into the shadow. The shadow can represent a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience, fear, anxiety, or just simply something that you're uncomfortable with. So shine the light and get a good feel for what's there, because it may be nothing. It could just be an illusion, or there might be something that needs to be dealt with. So we're not just going to jump into the path of shadows. We're going to breathe. We're going to take our time, one step at a time, and shine the light. Get informed. Ask for some advice. Okay? Now you have a chance to look at one final question, anything that you still need some assistance with. Go ahead and close your eyes. Ask Spirit whatever it is that you need help with. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we'll see what's coming through. All right. We have a fantastic and a very clear answer here. If you asked a yes or no, you can't get more of a yes card than the Ace of Swords. I do like that we're seeing this sort of like spiral staircase going into her mind, and it's saying, you know, you've done the work, but you have to believe in this. Believe in it enough to get other people excited about it, because if you lack conviction and confidence, other people may have a hard time connecting and committing as well, okay? It's also an invitation to take action on things. So an ace is potential. Ace of Swords gives you the way to bring it through to the world, which is speaking and doing. And yes, you can write it into existence too, but like communication and action are very much a part of Ace of Swords. So what are you going to do right here, right now, to speak it or move it into existence? And that is everything for this month. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I think the shorter ones are kind of nice because you get everything you need a little bit faster, and I can get all of these out to you by the middle of the month. So I hope you enjoy this. And again, thank you for your patience. If you still need a little bit more of advice, you can continue the conversation by booking a private session with me. I have opened up my calendar. There are links right here on my main YouTube channel page in the description. And of course, right here, you can see the link. You can go to my website as well, nicholasashbaugh.com, for more links and information, including all of my social media official platforms that you can find me on. Again, it's usually just my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, everywhere. If you'd like to stay here on YouTube and show some support, you can do it by becoming a member, which is a great way to give back each and every month, in addition to being a subscriber, which is free. You can also do a super sticker or super chat, basically leave a sticker with your comment. And if you'd like to show support off of YouTube, you can do it through PayPal. And all of this, again, you can go to my main channel page or my website for more information. And that, my friends, is everything. Thank you so much for your patience as I kind of focused on health and well-being, and for showing up today and being the best and my favorite part of what I do here on YouTube, which is just being able to connect with you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.